Welcome back for part 13 of the Dear David haunting, and it only seemed appropriate to film this as a winter storm is approaching. After the events reported on December 12th by Adam, his tweets go silent until January 2nd. He explains he went home to Montana for the holidays and almost immediately started to feel better, less tired and foggy. He hasn't even entertained the thought of moving, given he just thinks David will follow him wherever he goes. But being home, Adam felt safer. Everything started to improve, so maybe David was tied to the home, not to Adam. Adam starts browsing apartments back in New York. Although it being winter at the time, after all that's happened, it definitely seemed like it would be worth moving out. It was almost like there was a way out for Adam. But after a few days, Adam starts to feel strange again. One night he gets up to go to the bathroom, and as he stands there in the dark, he can't help but feel like something is moving outside of the bathroom window. The bathroom looks out into the backyard, but it was pitch black, and he could barely see anything. Being Montana, Adam deduces it down to the possible wildlife around, and sure enough, in the morning he finds these animal tracks through the snow. The next night, the same thing happens. Adam gets up in the middle of the night and thinks he sees movement in the blackness outside. This time, he stands at the window and gazes out, straining his eyes to adjust to the night. For a long time, Adam stares out into the snowy darkness but doesn't see anything. But just as he is about to turn away, he sees something lurch off to the right and disappear from view. Due to the darkness, Adam does try to debunk it as maybe a coyote or something. But in the morning, as Adam is getting out of the shower, he glances out of the window and notices tracks behind the garage. He can't tell what they were from the bathroom, so he quickly gets dressed, puts on his coat, and heads outside. When he gets close, his heart practically stops. These weren't animal tracks. These were footprints. Very small footprints. He follows them across the backyard, but they disappear into the ditch out back. He stands there in the snow, not knowing what to do. What could he do? Welcome back for part 14 of the Dear David haunting, one of two final parts of this horror story that's left. We just released our season 3 finale investigation at a haunted sports bar called The Tavern, where we actually experienced a few things similar to what Adam has been dealing with during his haunting. A child entity, shoes found inside of the walls that belong to the child, and even well-lit sections of the building that appear dark through our camera lenses. Amongst other evidence, these stuck out to me as strange coincidences that I just wanted to mention. So check the link tree in our bio to watch the new episode and let us know what you think. After finding these tiny footprints in the snow that disappeared into a stream behind his family's house, Adam explains that he didn't leave his room the next few nights out of extreme fear. If that was indeed David that he saw in the snow late the other night, then that means that David could follow him anywhere. No matter if he found a new apartment and moved, David could still find him. He felt helpless. He flies back to New York the day after Christmas, and arriving back home to his apartment, he feels, yet again, back at square one. He's tried everything he can think of. He's saged his apartment, he's hired a medium, nothing has worked. And what's worse, he still feels David at night watching him from different corners of the room, always getting closer, and waking up right before something happens. For the past few nights, Adam's been using that app that takes photos every couple minutes, but nothing has shown up. For whatever reason, Adam says, it doesn't seem to work anymore, but he leaves it running just in case. It's picked up absolutely nothing, save for one thing, from the night before. The night was particularly bad, Adam recalls. He began to feel sick, starts having nightmares all night. He dreams that David is hovering in the corner by the ceiling of his bedroom, far off the ground. Like before, David begins mouthing something, but Adam can't hear any words. Then out of nowhere, David's hovering right above his bed, staring straight down at him. David's mouth moving faster than it should be. Adam can't move, he can only look up at David. Then suddenly, David plummets down towards him, and he feels this huge pressure in his chest. He wakes up gasping, the wind completely knocked out of him. He sits up and looks frantically everywhere, heaving for air, but there was nothing. When he finally catches his breath, he jumps out of bed and retrieves his phone from the dresser. The camera roll showed nothing to report save for the last photo, taken just a moment before he woke up. And to quote Adam's last tweet from the night, "I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss. I just don't know." Welcome back for part 15 of the Dear David haunting, and after what just happened to Adam, he mysteriously disappears from posting. Nothing more about the photo he found of David, not a single tweet. Then after 2 weeks of silence, Adam posts an apology about the long delay, citing that he wasn't sure he'd tweet again. After what happened a couple weeks ago, everything stopped, he says. He wasn't having dreams anymore and was feeling much better, even noting that he can successfully sleep through the entire night again. He continues by stating that he has actually been feeling great, and at the time, still was. But at the same time, things have been weird too. He knows it's hard to understand, but he continues trying to explain, even though he knows it might not make any sense. Basically, Adam says, as good as things have been lately, he still can't shake the feeling that something is off. He's been sleeping fine and has lots of energy during the day, but sometimes he seems to sort of lose time. Like he'll look up at the clock and realize an entire hour has passed and he can't remember any of it. Or he mishears someone and asks them what they said, only to find out they didn't say anything. Little stuff like that. But after all that he's been through, it's not that big of a deal. And despite all of that, he felt ready to put it all behind him. So on that previous Sunday, he opens Twitter intending on informing his followers that it was over, or at least that he thought it was. He just wants things to go back to how they were, and at this point, it seems like they had. He was writing something to that effect when he notices he had way more notifications than usual. He swipes to his mentions and sees that everyone was tweeting to him about something he had posted to his Instagram stories the day before, saying they saw something weird. The stories expired, but thankfully Adam informs us he did get screenshots, but he doesn't know how to explain it. He breaks down the previous day, explaining that he went to brunch with a friend that Saturday and posted a few unremarkable photos to his stories. He posted one more of him and his friend before leaving, and that was that. But the next day, he had a zillion messages about the third photo he posted. People had taken screenshots and sent this to him. He has no clue what happened. It looked perfectly fine on his phone when he uploaded it. He would say it's just a glitch, but he can't make sense of what's happening to his face in the picture. At the same time, maybe he can explain it. He knows what it looks like, what it probably is, but he doesn't know if he cares anymore. He really just wants things to be normal, and at that moment, things felt normal enough. He finishes the thread and lets us know he'll give an update if anything happens. 12 days later, a tweet appears with no explanation, no caption, just this video. And again, 2 weeks later, the cats gather at the door, crying.